Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Pete here from Photoshisa Photography, and today I wanted to share with you what kind of flashes I use for my daily photo shoots with couples and things like that when I'm out on location. So a lot of the time I'm using the bigger Profoto B1 if I need a lot of power, or some other strobes. But what I try to use most of the time is smaller speed lights. And you can really get away with a lot of creativity, and they're just a lot lighter to carry around than a big studio strobe. And I find I don't always need the power of the bigger strobes. These give out plenty enough power, and if one isn't enough, you can always combine them with an extra one, so you have double the power. Alright, so my flash I usually use these days is the Cactus flashes and the Cactus triggers. So right here I have the Cactus RF60 flash. I have a couple of them right here with me now. And to trigger those, because I'm always using them off camera, meaning I have them out in a light stand, which means I need this. This is the Cactus V6 trigger. Okay, so this will go on top of my camera, while this can be placed out anywhere, even 100 meters away or so. And it sends out a radio trigger, which will tell this, or both of these, to fire. And I can even change the power and the zoom of the flash, all from my camera here, so I don't have to go out to my flash and change the power, which is a very handy thing, and that's what we used to have to do back in the day. So before I worked with the Cactus flashes, I primarily used Yongnuo. Yongnuo, I'm sure most of you are familiar with if you've used flashes before. Before that, I used Canon flashes or Nikon flashes, but I find those to be very overpriced, expensive, and for some reason the cheaper gear just does a better job. These days the technology is caught up, and there's not really any reason that I know of to spend $500–600 on the brand name flashes. So anyway, let me give you a quick overview of what these Cactus flashes do and how I use them. So obviously you turn them on at the back here, you have a little screen, and you're able to cycle through a few different modes. So your regular manual mode, I use this if I'm using the camera on top of my, the flash on top of my camera, and I may be bouncing it or something like that up into the roof. I use that in maybe parties and events, things like that. But most of the time I have this into radio mode, so it will talk to my radio trigger, and I will turn this on here, and I'm able to select groups along the side of the trigger here, A, B, C, and D. So right now I have my two flashes here, which I mainly use two, set to group A and group B. So if I turn them both on now and I aim them at the camera there, you might be able to see I'm just firing one at a time. So there we go. You can see right now this one here is firing, and I can control the power down, turn it down low. Right, now I'm going to fire flash B by just changing the buttons here. There we go. And if I want to, I can fire A and B at the same time. Change the power, like I said, and also change the zoom of the flash inside the head. So it's very, very handy. Now these Cactus flashes, like all flashes, pretty much run off 4 AA batteries, like this. I always use the Eneloop rechargeable batteries. One thing I don't like about the Cactus flashes is that the battery door tends to open pretty easily. If it's bumped, or heaven forbid if you drop the flash, it tends to open quite easily and the batteries will fly out all over the place. That's something I didn't have as an issue with the Yongnuo flashes. But apart from that, I love them. They work just great. I've had them out in the rain before on many times, and they still continue to work just fine. So yeah, I really love it. And one major advantage of the Cactus trigger over the Yongnuo trigger is that it has this dial on the back of the V6, which allows you to very quickly and easily change power of a single flash or multiple flashes. So you can just dial through here and quickly change your grouping, so you can choose which flash you want to adjust, or adjust them all at once, and just simply dial the power down to the lowest power, 1/128th power, or all the way up to full power, 1:1. Or you can do it in 1/3 stop increments, I believe, as well, but usually I just have it set to 1 stop increments, just to keep it nice and simple. The trigger itself runs on two AA batteries on the side here, and I find the range to be absolutely phenomenal with the V6. I've triggered these flashes well over 100 meters away before, and they'll fire every single time. Unlike something like this Pro Photo trigger I have here for my B1, which costs I think around $500, whereas I think the Cactus trigger I believe is about between $150 to $200. I have more troubles with this Pro Photo triggering my Pro Photo head. Sometimes it doesn't fire. It's nice, it's still good, don't get me wrong, and this one does TTL, where these ones only do manual. But I still have some difficulties. Another problem is if I don't want to use flash all of a sudden, I can turn this off, and then I'm able to adjust my shutter speed on my camera above its sync speed of 200th of a second, which I can't do with this trigger. It's overly smart, and it won't let me change my shutter speed. Even if I turn the unit off, it won't let me adjust my my shutter speed above 200th of a second, which is really annoying if I want to shoot some natural light stuff and I want to open up my aperture of my lens to say 2.8, and therefore needing a faster shutter speed of maybe, you know, 1,000th of a second or faster. If I want to do that, I have to physically take this Pro Photo trigger off my camera. Then I'm able to set the shutter speed however I want. And I've spoke to the boss of Pro Photo Japan about this issue, and he didn't even know about it. He was kind of shocked. They said they'll look into it, and hopefully they'll address it in a future firmware update. But for now, it's an annoying little thing, and this is just way overpriced at like $500. Is craziness. So yeah, I really love the cheaper brands. Like I said, Cactus, Yongnuo are great too. Cactus, I'm lucky enough to be supplied with this gear to test it out and to show it at my workshops and things like that. So it's absolutely phenomenal. Check it out, Cactus Image, and stick around. I'll show you a few sample shots that I've taken using these flashes. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And as always, happy shooting. I'll see you in the next video.